Captioning test 1 2. 1 2 test for captioning. Caption test 1 2. Testing 1 2, testing for captioning. Test for closed captioning 1 2, test. Test 1 2, closed captioning test 1 2 3. 1 2 3. Closed captioning test. Test 1 2. Closed captioning test 1 2. 1 2. Test for captioning. Test for captioning 1 2. 1 2 3. Closed captioning test 1 2. 1 2. Closed captioning test 1 2. Test for captioner. Closed captioning test 1 2 3. Closed captioning test 1 2. 1 2 3. Closed captioning test 1 2. 1 2.
right. She explained it.
I just have to. Hey, stairs for the faculty right here is 14, and that one is 13.
So, seats, where there are 13 faculty, because we don't have enough seats. There are only 12 seats.
No, there's 14.
Oh!
Please rise for the processional.
Please be seated. It is my honor as president of the University of North Georgia to welcome you to the spring 2017 commencement ceremony. On behalf of the entire university community, I extend warm and sincere congratulations to each of these fine scholars and to their family and friends. Our hopes and our dreams are with you today. This is a day of great celebration for our graduates and also for the university. As we begin our ceremony, please join me in thanking Dr. Mark Spraker, Faculty Marshal, and Dr. Joe Chapman for the inspiring processional. I would be remiss if I did not recognize all the mothers, fathers, husbands, wives, partners, children, grandparents, relatives, and friends who stood behind our students day after day and assisted them throughout their college careers. Thank you. Thank you for supporting our students. And students, today is a wonderful day. Here you are donned in academic regalia whose design dates back to the Middle Ages and symbolize your achievement and commitment. The right to wear these robes is an honor that must be earned, and indeed you have earned that right. We are here to honor you with the richest tradition of the academic community, a commencement ceremony, celebrating the completion of your degree and the beginning of your professional lives. The University of North Georgia holds a special designation within the University System of Georgia as a state leadership institution. As such, UNG has a strong reputation for producing civic, professional, and military leaders, and our graduates are known as individuals committed to high personal integrity, civic engagement, and community service, and of course, academic excellence. I know that the foundation you have received at North Georgia will be a catalyst to your future success. And I also know that as graduates of UNG, you will add value and meaning to many of those around you. Again, congratulations on this milestone in your life. At this time, Dr. Esther Morgan Ellis will come forward to lead us in singing the national anthem. Will you please stand as you are able?
At the twilight's last gleam, whose Thank you, and please be seated. It is my honor as the Vice Provost to join President Jacobs in welcoming you to today's ceremony. When I reflect upon the experience you have had at UNG and your determination to achieve this goal, I'm reminded of the story of the Apollo 13 space mission that was recounted in a movie several years ago. Apollo 13 was programmed for 10 days, but suffered system failure en route. Jim Lovell was commander of the Apollo 13 flight. He and the crew, working closely with ground controllers, conserved the crew's electrical power and water and converted their lunar module into a lifeboat of sorts, allowing them to survive in space and return to Earth. Lovell is credited with saying, "There are people who make things happen, there are people who watch things happen, and there are people who wonder what happened." To be successful, you need to be a person who makes things happen. As a UNG graduate, you have the knowledge and the critical thinking skills to solve challenging problems. You have learned the value of teamwork, perseverance, and leadership. You will make things happen. As one of the university's academic officers, I recognize the important role of our faculty in helping you to identify and develop these skills. I commend our faculty for their commitment to our students' personal and professional development and for their leadership and dedication to their disciplines. Would all the members of the faculty who are here today, including those on the platform, please rise so that we can recognize you. Please join me in recognizing our University of North Georgia faculty. Before we continue with the program, please allow me to introduce to you the remaining members of our platform party. Will you all please stand as your name is called? Mr. Mac McConnell, Senior Vice President for Business and Finance. Dr. Billy Wells, Senior Vice President for Leadership and Global Engagement. Dr. Janet Marling, Vice President for Student Affairs. Dr. Richard Oates, Vice President, Gainesville Campus. Mr. Jeffrey Tarnowski, Vice President for University Advancement. Dr. Michael Beaudry, Dean of the College of Science and Mathematics. We got a fan club. Dr. Donna Mayo, Dean of the Mike Cottrell College of Business. Colonel Brent Cummings, Professor of Military Science. Ms. Wendy Hughley, Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving. Dr. Brian Corrigan, Professor of English and the reader for today's ceremony. Thank you all. It is my honor at this time to introduce our guest speaker for today's commencement ceremony. Stephen Vandeloo is a business leader with more than 30 years of career success with Coca-Cola System in selecting, developing, motivating, and empowering high-performing teams throughout the United States and Great Britain. Mr. Vandeloo held key executive leadership roles with Coca-Cola in marketing, business development, strategic planning, and operational marketing, while building teams in 10 diverse markets across the U.S. and Europe. He culminated his 33-year career as National Vice President of Regional Commercialization for Coca-Cola Refreshments. He effectively executed a single North America commercial plan for both Coca-Cola Refreshments and independent bottling partners. Today, Mr. Vandeloo uses his business acumen and his industry experience as a consultant to a variety of businesses and serves as a guest lecturer to business and marketing students at colleges and universities, sharing his holistic approach to business and life planning in achieving success. Through the firm he founded in 2012, Advanced Beverage Concepts, he provides his clients with expertise in organizational strategy, leadership development, new brand planning, and product introduction and commercialization. He also provides coaching and mentoring to startup businesses and CEOs outside of the beverage industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Mr. Steve Vandeloo.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Gio, for that very kind introduction. To President Jacobs, the President's Cabinet, members of faculty and administration, thank you for inviting me to speak today at this commencement ceremony for the College of Science and Mathematics and the Mike Cottrell College of Business. To the graduates, parents, other family members, friends, and honored guests, what a proud day it is indeed. A day of celebration, a very special day to remember. As I looked back in history, I found some interesting facts about the University of North Georgia, and this helped inform my speech today, which I have titled, Your Journey of Firsts. The college first opened as North Georgia Agricultural College in 1873 with 177 students, 98 males, 79 females, making it the first coeducational college in the state. The first graduating class consisted of 4 people, consisted of 3 men and 1 woman, making North Georgia the first public institution in the state to award a degree to a female. Today is another day of first. For example, this weekend we'll have the largest number of graduates in the history of the university, and also the largest classes graduating from these 2 colleges. The College of Science and Math celebrates their first Fulbright Scholar. Tomorrow, or soon after, will be a first day for many of you in your careers. Some of you may be the first in your family or among your friends graduating from college. For some of you, this may be your first step as you consider going on for your master's or graduate degrees, or in starting your own business. So as part of the first, I would like to be one of the first to congratulate you on your accomplishments. Today we have undergrads as well as graduate students receiving degrees. We also have 21 second lieutenants being commissioned. A very special thank you to all of you for that commitment and service to our country. For all of you graduates, you should feel incredibly proud of your achievements and in the fact that you have earned your degrees. I find it interesting that some people refer to college graduation as the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. I don't see it that way. That definition seems too restrictive, too confining to me. I see today as just one part of your journey, and while certainly a very important part, it's just that. It is one step, and perhaps for some of you, the first step of being on your own. As you all know, the University of North Georgia has a very clear system of values which support its vision of providing academic excellence, engagement, opportunity, and leadership development. It holds itself and its students to a high standard of performance. The university has provided the support, the challenge, and the methodology. It's provided you a map for reference. Tomorrow, however, you'll be looking into the mirror, your own mirror. Absent this academic environment, its supportive professors and like-minded cohorts, absent the daily reminders of its standards, absent the routines of what's next. So how will you respond? Have you committed to what your standards of performance will be? What your values will now be as a graduate? What is your personal promise first to yourself, then to others, family, friends, associates at work, the business you may be working for. What are the qualities you will hold fast to around ethics, integrity, and commitment? The challenge now becomes yours. You own what happens next and going forward. One of the things that I learned over my 33 years with Coca-Cola and during my last 5 years of owning my own businesses is that in life, we should not expect any entitlement. Nothing is owed to any of us in securing a job, a career, in selecting our friends and our partners. It's your effort, performance, and behavior, the willingness to act honestly and ethically, believing in collaboration, community participation, and living in your spiritual beliefs that will determine the richness of your lives. Using the very relevant words that the University of North Georgia extols, to lead where it counts, is so appropriate. It starts with the leadership of yourself first and with what you stand for. This is the investment you're making in yourself. Make this investment a good one. As I said, I see life as the journey of life as a continuum. It's filled with lots of first, things we will learn, the people we will meet, the experiences which can be full of joy or full of sadness. It's framed by what we accomplish as well as those things that we have tried but chosen not to pursue. Each day, each event, each moment, each shared laugh or cry, each act of kindness or act of ignorance, each action taken or not creates the experience and context for our lifelong journey of first. A significant part of what you will face on this journey will be the challenge of change. Lots of words have been used to describe or define it, but the fact is, change can be and will be hard. It has happened in our lives. It's happening to you right now, and it's going to continue to happen. Time continues to move ahead, bringing us new things, and it's up to each of us on how we decide to participate. So how do you as graduates decide which path to take? First, it's going to be decided by your passions, your level of commitment, and your sincerity in following them through despite the changes and challenges you will face. As I said about this investment in yourself, while change is hard, not changing is fatal. Change helps empower your growth and your learning. Develop and use your own moral compass to help you find your path. You know in your heart what's right and wrong. Ethics should be your guide as you use this compass. There's no certain roadmap to success. It's a matter of the choices each of us make. It's your decisions, not the circumstances you find yourself in, that shape the quality of your journey. Think about this. No matter what situation and challenge you find yourself dealing with, you always, and I do mean always, have complete control over 4 areas in your life: your integrity, your passion, your effort, and your attitude. I encourage you to always take action. Make things happen. Don't ever be afraid of taking a well-thought-through, well-informed risk if you believe in it. Every story you've ever connected with, every person you've ever admired, everything you've ever accomplished is a result of taking action. The road of life is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision. You have a choice. You can either be a passive victim of circumstance or you can be the active hero of your own life. My wife, Deb, and I have relocated almost a dozen times with our family across the U.S. and Europe. She has been and continues to be a great partner for me. We both believe in going for it, in never wanting to look back on something and saying, I wonder what would have happened if we had tried that. You will find that action is the antidote to apathy, cynicism, and despair. You will inevitably make mistakes. Learn from these and move on. Approach life with an attitude of I get to instead of I have to. It will change your life and it will improve your journey. It will make you a happier person. Just try it sometime. For example, I get to be at graduation, not I have to be at graduation. I get to go to work, not I have to go to work. As I said, life should not be a passive exercise. It should be engaging and challenging and enriching. Each of you has a unique passion for life, a rich array of skills and qualities that are different, exclusive, and distinctive from everyone else. You get to write your own story. As a matter of fact, you're writing it now and have been since the day you were born. Continue writing your magnificent story. Make it a very special one. You know, many people say that you must open the door when opportunity knocks. I will argue opportunity never knocks. I believe it generally plays pretty hard to get. You must look for it and work towards it, working harder and being more committed than the others who are going after it. We enable and create our opportunities through focus, hard work, effort, through listening and leading, all steps along the way as part of your journey. I encourage you, be there for others. Each of us will define that notion of service to others in our own unique way. I encourage you to embody integrity through the practice of honesty, humility, and accountability. Respect others, embrace diversity, promote inclusion, and fight for freedom of thought and speech. Here is something to think about, and perhaps some of you are feeling this a little bit today during graduation, is that too often we don't learn to say hello until it's time to say goodbye. Say hello to the world around you. Share your life and your love with others. You'll be glad you did. So for you, class of 2017, I wish you joy. I wish you health and happiness and success. I wish for you someone in your life that you care about more than you care about yourself. I wish for you quality of friends and the quality of colleagues with whom you share respect. I commend you on your past accomplishments, and as you move forward, I encourage you all to build on what you have been given and what you have worked for, achieving the fullness it has the potential to be. I will leave you with this quote from Henry Ford: "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Make the most of this journey you're on. The choices are up to you. Be creative, challenge yourself, try new things. Remember that ideas are the natural-born enemy of the way things are. Again, my congratulations to all of you graduates, the parents, family, and friends who have all worked so hard to make this day a very special part of each of your journeys. Enjoy this wonderful celebration of success on your journey of firsts. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vanderloo, for reminding us that we control our level of commitment, our integrity, our passion, our effort, and our attitude as we move forward in our ongoing journey of firsts. Among our graduates tonight are students who have surpassed the academic standards, actually this morning, not tonight. We have graduates who've surpassed our academic standards as set forth by our faculty. And it's my pleasure at this time to recognize these honor graduates for their commitment and their dedication. The names of these students are listed in your program, and they will be recognized individually as they receive their diplomas. Will you please hold your applause until all groups stand? Will the baccalaureate students who are graduating with a grade point average between 3.90 and 4.0 on a 4.0 scale please stand and remain standing? These are the students who are graduating summa cum laude. Will the baccalaureate students who are graduating with a grade point average between 3.70 and 3.89 on a 4.0 scale please stand and remain standing? These students are graduating magna cum laude. Will the baccalaureate students who are graduating with a grade point average between 3.50 and a 3.69 on a 4.0 scale please stand and remain standing? These students are graduating cum laude. Thank you. Please be seated. Will all associate degree students graduating with a grade point average of 3.5 on a 4.0 scale please stand and remain standing? These students are graduating with distinction. Thank you. Members of our Corps of Cadets who ranked in the top 20% of more than 5,000 cadets on the National Order of Merit list will graduate as distinguished military graduates, the highest honor an ROTC student can achieve. Will the distinguished military graduates please stand? Thank you. Please be seated. The UNG Honors Program cultivates a community of engaged scholars who have demonstrated excellence in academics, service, and leadership. Completion of the Honors Program includes involvement in activities outside the classroom and service to the institution and local community. Will all graduates who are members of the Honors Program please stand? Thank you. Please be seated. Academic honor societies recognize students who have excelled both academically and as leaders among their peers. Will all graduates who are members of university and departmental academic honors societies please stand? Thank you. We will now confer the degrees. Will all candidates for associate degrees please stand? President Jacobs, I present to you the candidate for associate degrees as listed in the printed program. This candidate has successfully completed the requirements for the degree as set forth by the faculty, and I recommend the candidates to you for the conferral of the degree.
Christy, by the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I award to you the associate degree with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining, and I welcome you to the company of scholars. Please move your tassel from right to left. Congratulations.
Will the candidates for all bachelor's degrees please stand? President Jacobs, I present to you the candidates for the bachelor's degree. Each of these candidates has completed the requirements of the degree as set forth by the faculty, and I recommend these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I award to you the bachelor's degree with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining, and I welcome you to the company of scholars. Please move your tassels from right to left. Congratulations.
Please be seated. Will the candidates for the master's degrees please stand? President Jacobs, I present to you the candidates for the master's degree. These candidates have successfully completed the requirements for the degree as set forth by the faculty, and I recommend these candidates to you for the conferral of their degrees.
By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the University System of Georgia, I award to you the master's degree with all the rights and privileges thereunto appertaining, and I welcome you to the company of scholars. Congratulations.
Please be seated. We will now call forward the graduates to be recognized individually. I invite Dr. Brian Corrigan to take his place to announce the graduates. Mr. Kyle Bowling of our Young Alumni Board will greet you as you leave the stage and welcome you as new alumni of the University of North Georgia. Marshals, please lead the graduates forward.
We now present the Associate of Science degree graduate from the College of Science and Mathematics, Christy Taylor. We now present the Bachelor of Business Administration degree graduates from the Mike Cottrell College of Business, David Joshua Adam. Jessica Sarah Allen. Samantha Allen, cum laude. Taylor Elizabeth Allen, summa cum laude, honors program. Maria Elizabeth Allison, cum laude. Marie Onso, cum laude. Sarah Ashley Anglin. Adam Christopher Baker. Elisa Marie Baker. Sarah M. Barnard. Abigail Barnes. Ryan Helms Bassett. Wendell L. Bates III. Hannah Elizabeth Bauthman. Jackson Flynn Berry. Isaac Jansen Black. Daniel James Bowling. Emily Michelle Buck. Second Lieutenant Travis L. Burnett, cum laude. Kelsey Butler. Brandon Joseph Butler. Marshall Cody Carlson. Thomas C. Chalkley. Erica Sapiro. Amberlyn B. Clark. Christopher Michael Clement. Chase Fulford Cole, magna cum laude. Emily Nicole Coleman. Caitlin Connell. Christina Cooper. Allie E. Costly, cum laude. Abigail Sarah Cown. Second Lieutenant Samuel Edmund Kreider. Christina Nicole Crockett. Catherine Annette Dabb. Grace Lynn Daly, cum laude. Lauren Ashley Daniels, summa cum laude. Amalia Ann De Silva. Leonard Michael DeLong, magna cum laude. Andrea Nicole Dunn. Matt Duarte. Yelenis M. Edwards. Mallory Ann Ellis, summa cum laude. Trevor Christian Udy. Valerie Ewing. Kristen Leanne Evans. Charlotte A. Aero, cum laude. Emily Amberlyn Farrow, cum laude. Grant Felty. William C. Finch. Tyler Scott Freeman. Second Lieutenant Brandon Michael Fitz. Hutton Lee Foey. Madison Claire Fountain, cum laude. Brittany Kayla Freeman. Devin Michael Gerhardt. Jared Gatlin Gentry. Lauren E. Goulding. Darian James Graves. Joshua Greider. Ryan Groves. Logan Nicole Guthrie. Caleb McKendry Hamby. Mary Hanty, cum laude. Tiffany Leanne Harbin, magna cum laude. Casey Alexandra Henderson. Dylan Hurd. Frank Herrera. Amber Michelle Holcomb. Second Lieutenant James House. Dalton Humphrey. Dylan Wells Humphrey. Devin Hunter, cum laude. Edward Hurst. Jordan M. Hyatt. Second Lieutenant Christopher Irvin, magna cum laude. Second Lieutenant Michael John Jefferson. Madeline Joan Johnson. Reed Allen Johnson. Matthew Garner Kennard. Samantha Nicole Kite. Erica Marie Kirtland. Nicholas Jansen Knight. Tyler Christopher Kropp. Travis Kuhn. Camille Catherine Labiche. Jordan Taylor Livesay, cum laude. Alexandria Grace Lawson. Marissa Jane Langston, cum laude. Kelly Michelle Lane. Sarah LeBlanc. Alyssa Ann Lord, cum laude. Chloe Diane Mack. Savannah Lee Mainland. Austin Mars, magna cum laude. Amanda Adair Martin, magna cum laude. Catherine McLean Martin, cum laude. William Mason. Bimisambam Mabey. Victoria Mary Lee McCord. Will McFarlane. Edouard Moorkos. Lucas Moritzen, magna cum laude. Robert Eugene McLean. David Lee Miller II. Corey M. Mills. Second Lieutenant David Mitchell. Second Lieutenant Hosea Knoll. Sidney A. Newborn. Robert Allen Orr, Jr. Jennifer Ortiz. Patrick Eugene Overby. Tiana Shea Pembroke, cum laude. Christopher Larry Pass. Dylan Lee Peppers. Brandon Price. Melanie Jane Powell. Matthew John Rains. Hannah Morley Reed. Casey Joe Reed. Caitlin Lindsay Reeves, cum laude. Alexander Lucas Reinauer, cum laude. Caitlin Whitney Reinchild. Knox Franklin Roberts. Tanner Marcus Robinson. Connor Romanelli. Bradley Sansing. Amanda Elizabeth Schwab. Victoria Ann Simmons. Tyler Alvin Skidgel. Matthew Ryan Smith, summa cum laude. Laura Elizabeth Snipes. Evie Somoji, magna cum laude. Joshua Sosaby. Second Lieutenant Austin Lee Stewart, cum laude. Michael Kennedy Strickland. Samantha Strobel. Randall E. Terrell, Jr. Mickey Wayne Thomas II, magna cum laude. Ashley Jordan Turner. Zachary Philip Turner. Mateo Valente. Meredith Vinson. Stuart Rhett Wallace. Chinyan Wang, summa cum laude. Andrew Lee Warbington. Hope Elizabeth Watkins. Alan Shane Watson, cum laude. Shelby Lynn Watson, cum laude. Ethan Scott Webster. Morgan Hood Wynn, summa cum laude. Christian Michael Wilson, magna cum laude. Kelly Wilson. Morgan Yarborough. Rachel Ann Zion, magna cum laude. We now present the Bachelor of Science degree graduates from the Mike Cottrell College of Business. Andrew Willis Abernathy. Tamur Anan. Dylan Ross Brewster, cum laude. Jonathan David Chance. Anna Melissa Dooley, cum laude. Reese Mitchell Hoyt Evans, cum laude. Halden Fabricius. Daniel F. Fullerton, cum laude. Caleb James Glorvigin. Eric Matthew Holler. Tawny Hollers, cum laude. Logan C. Holt. Brendan C. James. Matthew Michael Jazuski. Charles Anton Kiefer, summa cum laude, honors program. James Avery King, cum laude. Second Lieutenant Minwoo Lee, cum laude. Michael Lott. Jonathan D. Luke. Felicia Renee Matucci, magna cum laude. Second Lieutenant Brian D. Morrow. Russell Parnell. Second Lieutenant Joseph Douglas Paterka. Aaron Peterson. Aaron E. Queen. Benjamin Gordon Quilliams, summa cum laude. Jesse Sasso. Christopher Kyle Smith. Cody Michael Stallings. Second Lieutenant Caleb Dawson Turner. Second Lieutenant Christopher Williams. Wilson, okay. John Wilson. Charlie Wood, summa cum laude. Second Lieutenant Yang Zhang, magna cum laude. We now present the Bachelor of Science degree graduates from the College of Science and Mathematics. Avery Edward Arndt. Samuel Balaji Ayadeli. Nathan James Barella. Taylor Brianne Beecham. Rachel Marissa Black, cum laude. Sarah Jessica Black. Elliot James Borman, cum laude. Miranda Booker. David Brindell. Megan Faith Brinkerhoff. Brittany Lynn Brooks. Brittany Burdette, magna cum laude. Caleb Christian Burridge. Ashley Marie Butler, magna cum laude. Alexis Jordan Collis. Lindsay Lee Davis. Mary Ruth Margaret Davis. Lacey Nicole Dickens, magna cum laude, honors program. Okay. Nicholas Giovanni Diodati. Preston Neil Esco. Taylor Bronwyn Estep. Blake Sheldon Foote. Jonathan William Fox III. Julie Elizabeth Fry, magna cum laude. Jacob Garner. Nick M. Geiger. Alexa Green, magna cum laude. Kaylee Gross. Philip Kyle Gunter. Matthew Michael Haynes. Bailey Nina Halleck, magna cum laude. Aaron Higdon. Devin Taylor Horner, magna cum laude. Christina Marie Horton, magna cum laude. Michael Grayson Hubel. Second Lieutenant Isaiah Zachary Hunt. Second Lieutenant Mason Raymond Kelly. Holly Karamzadeh. Han Sol Kim. Allison Kinsey. Donya Kobari, cum laude. Deidre Lee Kotile. Sarah Danielle Krog. Christopher Michael LaRussa. Tram Hong Lee, summa cum laude. Andre Justice Leday. Second Lieutenant Alex Lee, cum laude. James Ethan Marlowe, cum laude. Dalton Marsh. Hayden Cody Martin. Samuel W. McCampbell. Jennifer Marie Lee McClure. Amber Leanne McHenry. Michaela Denye Melnichuk, summa cum laude. Blaze William Menta, magna cum laude. Evan Miller. Mariah Brogan Monroe. Nicholas Montalvo IV. Michelle Marie Morris. Rachel Renee Myers. Amelia Jean Noken, cum laude. Thomas McMillan Norris. Ryan Michael Notice. Christina Perry, summa cum laude. Catherine Heather Pringle. Ronnie Lee Ryland. Jacob Bradley Roberts. Elizabeth Ann Ruttinger. Diego Sanchez. Charles M. Shellhorn. Allison Schwinn. Kadeen Danielle Scott, cum laude, honors program. Adriana Nicole Scurry. Elizabeth Shirley. John Thomas Sledge. James David Stevenson Honors Program. Andrew Carlisle Stevick. Bill Swat. Alyssa G. Thompson, magna cum laude, honors program. Anthony Tadero. Second Lieutenant Walter Dale Turner, cum laude. Margot Aaron Usry, honors program. Pedro Vidals. Adam James White, cum laude. Miranda L. Whitfield, summa cum laude. Megan A. Wolf, cum laude. Second Lieutenant Nicholas Wood. We now present the Master of Business Administration degree graduates from the Mike Cottrell College of Business. Wally Beck. Melissa McNair Davis. Ryan Insor. Garrison Robert Johnson. Jamie Cutts Cook. Kimberly Colston Lovell. Karen Casey Miller. William Scott Nation. Michael Tyler Parker. Robert Scott Marshall.
I commend the most recent graduates of the University of North Georgia. Your hard work and dedication have been rightfully rewarded. I offer my personal congratulations to you for earning the title of graduate from this fine institution. And I ask that everyone please join me in recognizing this graduating class. Thank you. Graduates, judging from the applause, it is clear that each of you should feel proud of your accomplishments. So at this time, I would like for the graduates to join me in a standing round of applause to thank your families, your friends, and others that have given you support in the pursuit of your degree. Thank you. One of the many things that makes the University of North Georgia such a special place is our designation as one of only 6 senior military colleges in the United States. I would now like to call forward Colonel Brent Cummings to conduct the commissioning ceremony for our military science graduates who are commissioning as second lieutenants. These graduates are also recognized individually in ceremonies with their family and friends.
It's my distinct pleasure and honor preside over this portion of today's ceremony. Since 1873, this great university has provided leaders for our Army and our nation. Today, that tradition continues. Would all those to be commissioned please stand and remove your caps and gowns at this time. While they prepare themselves for commissioning, I want to publicly thank all of the faculty and staff here at the University of North Georgia. You have provided these leaders with an education that they will take with them around the world to serve our soldiers and to solve complex problems. Commissionees, this oath that you are about to take is unique and it is special. It is not given to a man or a woman or a sovereign or an ideology. It is given to the United States Constitution, a document which provides all of us here today in this room with our freedom. In defense of that freedom, you will be called upon at times when necessary to defend our Constitution. Just as one of our own, First Lieutenant Weston Lee, did approximately 1 week ago today near Mosul, Iraq, where he was killed in action. He walked across this same stage and he took this same oath. It is sacred. In remembrance of him and the honor that you are about to take, I would like to ask all veterans who are here on stage, faculty, family, or friends, to please stand with me while I give this oath to these commissionees.
Commissionees, come to the position of attention and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your full names. Having been appointed an officer in the United States Army in the grade of second lieutenant, do solemnly swear that I shall support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I shall bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. And I will well and faithfully execute the duties of the office of which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Ladies and gentlemen, defenders of freedom.
Thank you, Colonel Cummings. Graduates, you are now lifetime members of the UNG community. We are confident that you will make your university proud wherever your journey may lead, and we look forward to hearing of your achievements. I now call on Ms. Wendy Hughley, Director of Alumni Relations and Annual Giving, for her congratulatory remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Gill. Graduates, alumni, congratulations, you've made it. You are now officially a member of the University of North Georgia Alumni Association, and I ask that you wear that badge proudly. It is truly, truly my honor and pleasure to stand up here and to welcome you on behalf of the Board of Directors and the entire UNG alumni family. My guess is that if you talk to anyone who's ever graduated from any university, that they would share that since graduation, they've realized that true learning has only just begun. It's the day in and day out grind of life that really tests who you are and who you will become once you leave the school. Further, they would share that the hard work and the effort that they put into their classes was certainly critical to their success. The relations they formed, however, as they managed that journey, I believe, also impacted their success, and in some cases, as much as their own individual efforts did. I want you to do two or three things for me. First, I want you to stop for a moment and think about the people that you've met that are also graduating today. Your friends, your roommates, your classmates, that special friend or study group that you met through the process. I want you to think about these faculty members who are sitting on the front rows, the impact that they had, the interest they had and they took in you, the interest in the subject that inspired you to declare a major finally and settle in. I want you to think about how these people have impacted your life, whether directly or indirectly. You know who they are. I want you to look around for a moment and think about them. In addition to celebrating your degree, I want you to celebrate these relationships that have accompanied that journey. Don't forget them. These relationships will matter no matter the distance, and they will stay with you forever. And on certain tough days may be the only thing that gets you through the next day. We've had a really kind of tough week in the Office of Alumni Relations, and I appreciate your comments. We got, in about 36 hours, notifications of the deaths of 4 different alumni, the youngest class of 2014, the oldest going back to the 1950s. But let me assure you, in each and every comment that we saw on social media or phone call that we got, there was just an incredible love and passion for these people. And that love and passion sits with you right now in this room with others. And again, you know who they are. Carry these relationships with you. I want to encourage you to stay involved as alumni. I want you to stay in touch with UNG through social media, the UNG alumni website, etc. Consider becoming an active part of the Young Alumni Board or the Alumni Association. Participate in a shared interest group. These groups offer a great way to stay connected with your classmates, to meet other alumni, and are a good way to give back just a little bit of your time. But finally, and most important, I want you to be a fan of North Georgia. Be proud. As an alumni, you are going to see changes over the years. Buildings will change, programs will change, faculty will come and go, some will retire, some traditions will be lost, and others will be born. And one day, you're going to come back and say, man, it has changed here. You are one of the last classes to walk across this stage in graduation. Things will change, but the essence of the University of North Georgia, even the North Georgia that I experienced as a student 27 years ago, has not changed. It's not changed for the alumni that attended 50 years ago, nor for the graduates who've graduated 5 years ago. It is the same North Georgia, and it is a family. As a graduate, you are now a part of that family. So alumni, welcome, congratulations, and best of luck.
Thank you, Wendy. As we conclude today's ceremony, I want to especially thank all of the staff involved with the planning and execution of this ceremony and for making it such a special occasion. Dr. Morgan Ellis will come forward to lead us in the University of North Georgia alma mater, which can be found at the back of your program. Following the alma mater, please remain in place for the recessional as the faculty and graduates exit the gymnasium. Thank you, and please stand.